barely see shit. I might have to switch seats. I might have to switch seats. I don't know if it's better to. I don't think it's better to have the sun behind me. I might switch seats though. Either way, trying to get as much sunlight as I can. Shit, man. I'm taking it real easy today. You know, I was almost able to. Man, she gave me both. I said the chive and then she threw in the one with the bacon. I don't know why she did me dirty like that. Oh no, but I'll still eat it. Excuse me. I'll still eat it though. It's like obviously it tastes good, but I was trying to avoid it. I was trying to avoid it. So sorry, man. It's hella bright. Can't really see. There we go. But it's funny because when I sometimes if I'm sitting here or right there, the sun is usually to my right. It goes to the west, right? So it's good in the mornings. You know, I played. I was doing basketball here like yesterday morning, I think, and I was waiting for this time of day. I was waiting specifically for this time of day, where the sun is like right on that side of the court. You know what I mean? Because I was hooping in the cold, man. That shit. I had to warm myself up. Pause. Oh, matter of fact, I could feed the birds this. The one with the bacon. Oh, I'm over here eating the bacon, trying to avoid it, but it is what it is. You know. There's a squirrel. What's up, man? Yeah. Take the egg. God damn. When that released from the hand after I tossed it, it didn't even feel right. It was a bad throw. Bad throw, my bad. Man, whoever dropped in with the like, appreciate it, man. Thank you, thank you. That's love. I got this smoothie over at the place. They call it buzzed up. Here, let me bam. We got the buzzed up joint. Who we got? Lily, what's going on? It was a terrible throw. I'm over here trying to throw it. Here, let me show you. I'm over here trying to throw it on the other side of the path. It fell short. Because there's a squirrel by that little bush over there, little pine bush. I was like, ooh, yeah, it was terrible. How you doing, Lilith? Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? Good morning to everyone else that jumped in, joined the chat. Thank you for being here and just hanging out, getting what's left of the sunlight. You know, we normally expect overcast in my city where I'm at, so it's really interesting. So I try to get as much sunlight and just fresh air as possible. You know, hopefully in the wintertime, even if it gets super cold, like 40 something degrees, 35, 40 something degrees, hopefully we still get sunlight. You know what I mean? I need that balance. My bad. I saw the wrist go wiry. Yeah. I'm like, it's a bad toss. I didn't even aim it too. Like I was looking at it, but I didn't aim. If that makes sense, it was like a whole bad toss right there. But yeah, this is the one I wanted though. It was the egg white with the chive on it. That one's better. I mean, the bacon didn't taste bad, but I'm like, I don't want that. I didn't need it. You know, trying to slow down the pork here. My bad. It was delicious. Yeah, thank you. Sometimes I go there just to grab those. Um, you know, excuse me. I'm trying not to drink coffee today. You know, because I got to work tomorrow. Like every morning that I've had coffee or afternoon that I grab coffee. Excuse me. I have trouble sleeping at night. I don't know what it is. So yesterday it was like the last day. Excuse me, my friend was here from out of town, and I was like supposed to go with him and some other people to a cigar lounge. And then when he had asked me, he was like, "Yeah, I'll probably head out around 8 if you're still down." And then there's a piece of me, for whatever reason, there's a bit of anxiety there for some reason. I don't know why. But then more importantly, I was like, you know what, man, I'm having trouble going to sleep. Honestly, like every time I want to go, like every time I'm like out doing stuff and trying to record video game things, I get kind of tired, and I'm like, I just need to head home. I don't know what it is. I just start feeling a little more fatigued. So trying to just be more mindful of what's going on internally. You know what I mean? My bad. What's going on? But yeah, I don't know. I'm just monitoring stuff too. I also ran into an old friend that I had cut off a long time ago. I cut this guy off back in 2018 ish. That's when last time I had a conversation with him, and all I've ever heard from him is like him just saying some weird shit, talking behind my back to other people. But I happened to run into him at the library yesterday, and he's like, he said, "Let me know if we could set up a time so we could just close anything that's open ended or whatever." So I was like, "That's fair." So we swapped numbers or whatever. I just texted him. I said, "Just let me know when you got it." Because he might be seeing me more. I'm over here doing my little music stuff in the little the study room or whatever. And I was like, "All right." So yeah, but we'll see. I have time if I have time and energy for him, which we shall see. But it was cool. It was kind of cool to run into him. It seemed like he cleaned up a little bit. Excuse me. Damn, I gotta block the sun on here. Social drain. My bad. I get that way sometimes. Too much social interaction drains the f out of me sometimes. You know. Yeah. I wonder if that's what it is. I feel like I've been so caught up in just trying to create the lives and just get on live stream that like I'm not doing enough for myself. But I think that's what I'm saying. Like I know in my heart like the best thing for me to do is when I get to episode 200, I'm gonna cut it off, and then the only live streams I'm gonna do are the workout ones because for whatever reason people like those. They like finding those and tuning in, which is really interesting. Yeah, pretty little chunk for them though, little bacon chunks for the crows and the squirrels, whoever want to eat it. So we shall see. But probably a bit of that the more I think about it. You know. Yeah, when I see bro, we'll see, man. I cut him off a long time ago. And it's funny because in between the time I cut him off till now, I always hear some weird shit like, "Oh, you talked to so and so," but it's either in the tone of like, "Yeah, they had a lot to say," or something. And I was like, "I don't even talk about this dude no more." That's why it's funny. So when I run into him and he had some a cool temperature about him, I'm like, I still don't trust bro. You know what I mean? I still don't trust bro, but we'll see what happens. He'll reach out to me if he wants to sit down and have that conversation. Knowing him though, he's always on some weird shady shit. Change the narrative of whatever happened back then. But I'm sticking to my guns on. Like I just stopped fucking with him personally. But God bless him. I hope the best for him. you know, crazy. Because I was thinking about that too. That was part of, I guess, let's say it was some social draining. Let's say that's what it was, like drained socially or whatever. And then like on top of that, I ran into this dude, and then on top of that, I was just going back and forth from spot to spot. There was a couple paranoid situations I had here and there. Um, just some stuff that's kind of keeping me on edge. It ain't too bad, but it's like it's interesting because like last night, I was hearing so many fucking noises around the house. I'm like, the hell what is going on? So then I literally go outside. I fucking bring the gun with me too, just like walking around the perimeter of outside. It's like 2 in the morning and I'm hearing shit. And then I forget like next door is an Airbnb. So these people are just wilding out, just having fun. But like they're whatever they're doing, wrestling or fucking over there. I don't know what they're doing. They're just having fun partying on the Airbnb side because it's the same building, but it's split in two. And then we just hear the vibrations on our side. So I keep thinking someone is going towards our door or our fence. I'm like, what is this shit I'm hearing? I'm just going to the perimeter. I just hear people yelling and having fun. I'm like, oh, that's one of those things, man. That shit crazy as hell. But that shit, it just had me a little paranoid last night. And I was already having trouble sleeping. I was like, what the fuck? What's going on here? My bad. At least, uh, at least you hope for the best. I mean, I hope the best for Brett. I hope the best for, you know what I mean? I don't even deal with him no more. But I'm like, you know what? Because the thing is, like, he doesn't even, I wouldn't say he wronged me. If anything, he's just like, or wrong did me or whatever. Pause. But it's like, oh, if anything, he's just running his mouth. But I personally stopped messing with him off principle. You know what I'm saying? And then there was a whole other situation where he supposedly raped this girl. Supposedly, I wasn't there, but the crazy part of that story is that like she and her friends had a history of, they would get guys drunk, they would party with dudes, and then if they didn't like them enough or if they were whatever, they would set them up and say that those guys raped them. So they had a what do you call this? They had a history of going out of the way. Her and her friends, this particular girl that supposedly got violated by the guy I'm talking about, they had a history of just like setting up guys, whether it was guys who like had a strong personality about themselves or they were confident about themselves, they would try to break them down by hitting them with a rape case and shit, which is crazy. So it's just weird that a girl like that ended up running into a guy who probably, I mean, this is going based off of what people told me because people know this guy and they know his exes way more than I did. And I was tight with this guy. I was close with him. I recorded his music. I made beats for him. All this crazy shit. But it's just to find out that it's like, yeah, based off his personality, it checks out that he might have actually, violated her, which is kind of crazy. So the fact that these two individuals, where you have one person who like he's kind of a gorilla pimp in his relationships, he's always trying to manipulate women emotionally just to kind of get with them physically and shit, and then you have this girl who did the same thing who's trying to set up dudes and stuff, and then they happen to clash, and then now this, but it's crazy because at the end of the day, the situation didn't bode well for him. So it's funny because even as a friend, I was like, you know what, man, I don't know what to believe, but I kind of have his back because I know the history of the girl, which is kind of wild. But everyone kind of who was like her friend, if not simping for her, had her back. So obviously, like the girl got the most empathy at the end of the day. But like I said, man, she's from that group friend or yeah, group friend, whatever, where they were doing weird shit, and I was like, that is wild. But then he's also the type of dude that again emotionally manipulates women and then physically tries to take advantage of him and all this shit, and like he really only like he's that's just the type of guy he is. It's no shade to him. It's just who he is, really. But no shade to her either. That's just who they are. These are things they got to work on, obviously. But when you see people for their character, you don't want to deal with them. You don't want to be around that type of shit. But it's funny how those two individuals ended up meeting each other, and then yeah, it's just some bullshit. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Sometimes though, you got to listen to your gut and protect your mental well-being. What's crazy though is like how much the gut is actually related to the brain, like how much the guts, the health of a gut or a stomach influences a brain or influences your brain, excuse me. Um, so it makes sense when people say listen to your gut feeling. It comes from like not even just a spiritual conversation, but a very scientific talk as well, which is funny. Yeah, see, women like that need to be on a list. It's just like, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I feel like I've spoken about her before. I mean, it's a whole new life. I guess I'll speak about it again. It's like there was one night, one of my homies, shout out to my guy Zen Seizure. This dude was doing a show at this bar joint around Rainier. So like, we go with him and we're like, are we going? He said the first 5 people who show up, and if I bring 5 people, they get free drinks. So then he brought 5 of his friends, which was like me, my guy Tremaine. It was like David and his wife, and then maybe himself. So we were like the first 5 people. We showed up early. We got free drinks. Now the thing is, one of the hosts there was the girl who supposedly got violated, and the thing was like her and her friend, like this other Asian girl. So it's like this black girl, this Asian girl, and then they're like, they're hella fine. Don't get me wrong, they're fine as hell. And then we're just hanging out. I'm like, damn, who are these people? Like, oh, they're just the host. I'm like, that's cool. Now, like I said, that whole night, I never, like when we got there, since we got there, I never met them, never talked to them, whatever. She came by, she handed me a drink. I said, oh, damn, thanks. I'm thinking this is part of the free drinks. Then another girl comes by, hands me a free drink. I'm like, oh, damn, thanks. I'm over here drinking the drinks. And then I go over by the bar because like this one lady I know who I used to kind of organize with, she's over there. So I'm talking to her. She's getting me a drink. It's just like hella these women that whole night buying me drinks. Now you know me, I'm like 1/4 retarded, so I'm sitting here like, damn, I'm getting hooked up. I'm just thinking people are friends with me. I'm thinking people fuck with me. I was like, yeah, that's crazy. I got a lot of friends. I go back to the table, my homie shaking my hand and dapping me. He's like, damn, bro, you out here winning. I was like, I don't know. In my mind, I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. So I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm getting hella drinks. That's all I'm thinking about. So I'm getting hella drinks. Come to find out later on, I'm telling this story to a friend of mine who's like deep in the singing kind of industry or just music industry in general. He has writing credits with Macklemore and shit like that. Like he's been on that album, so he still gets royalties and shit. But he's been over there, right? So this dude, I'm kind of telling him a bit of the whole stories and situations, etc. As time goes on, and he's like, "Oh, you talking about so and so?" I'm not gonna say her name because again, if she has been violated, then that's wrong. I'll leave it alone. But she just has such bad history. But I bring up her name. He's, oh, you talking about her, and you're talking about the other girl. So he starts bringing up her, the Asian girl, and then there's another girl that's part of their crew apparently. And he said, yeah, man, they got a thing where like one of my guys, man, he's like a real humble, righteous guy, in the not just the music scene, but the art scene. But he ended up hooking up with one of the girls, and then you know he wasn't really trying to see them in the long run because when you wake up in the morning from that stuff, and then you're trying to just do whatever again, and all of a sudden she's claiming like it's rape, but it's just like it's like, bitch, you was buying me all the drinks. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those like she was getting him all the drinks. She was getting him drunk. She got him more drunk than she got, if that makes sense. It was just one of those like she was over here sipping and then giving him like it was one of those weird things to my understanding. And they all them girls have a history of just like constantly like doing these weird like rape cases on people. So then when all the other people in the community started having that particular dude's back, this is the humble arts guy, when they started having this dude's back and saying like, "Hey man, we know his character. He's never done that. Now we've gotten drunk with him. I'm a girl. I've got drunk with him. We might have had fun a few times here and there, and he's never went that far, violated, etc. Whoop de bop 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 bop." So everyone's like having his back and like vouching for him. And then all of a sudden, one of the girls goes like, because one of the girls was doing that. She goes, you know what? You're right, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize. I think I just like I overreacted and took certain things out of context. She's over here trying to paint this shit in a different story. So she comes from a group of girls that like they all do this wild shit, and I'm like, then that's crazy because it's always like it has to be the community's word against a girl's because a girl's word will go far. A girl's like you're right. You said she's a predator, girl who cried a wolf situation. She is a predator when you think about it, and it's just like the fact that she preys on dudes like that, like whether they're righteous guys or like really humble people, and they're like preying on people like that. It was kind of crazy. So anyway, that story was like a year or two before they were buying me drinks. And like I said, this is why it helps to be kind of slow. Like I said, bro, I'm one quarter retarded. I got to be. Because that should be saving my life, man. Because I'm just sitting here thinking, like, damn, people just trying to get me drunk and, help me out for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm so special. But it just ends up happening. So I'll be feeling good about myself. Like, damn, come to find out, like, actions like that were had motives the whole time. So that shit fucked me up a little bit. I was like, damn, I could have got violated and set up on some funny shit too. Good thing I was just, because the thing is, when I showed up to the show, I was just there for the homie. My guy's in Caesar. I was just there for him. And then I was just there hanging out with my friends. I would have made sure my friends got home safe anyway. I would have made sure my homie and his wife, I'm not friends with that dude no more, but I would have made sure they got in their car and left, on time. I would have made sure that my guy who lives like 2 blocks down from me, we would have caught the bus together, made it all the way home, just mobbed together. I would have made sure that even if I was drunk, you know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't have left with the bitch anyway. That's what's crazy about it. So it's just like she was over here handing drinks to someone who personality wise and principle wise wouldn't have lined up with her violation anyway, which is kind of funny. But it's funny because I still see her every now and again, at certain events, and like she's kind of just a little standoffish and like a little more timid or whatever. She's still like working doors and stuff like that. And I look at her and I'm like, I don't know I don't know what our guy, our old friend did to you. I don't actually know that. I wasn't there. There's a bit of that, and I don't want to be like graphic and fucked up, but I just look, no homo. I just thought that he stretched it out. I ain't gonna lie. I just thought that he went in there, laid it down, did a little too much, and then she was just like, "Nah, you're going too far. You're doing too much. You're doing the most." That's what I thought. I thought he was just doing the most because we had known him to stretch a few girls out. Pause. Let's just be honest about it. So we knew he was that kind of guy. But like, we also know he probably just gets carried away love wise. So he probably just was doing the most. So that was my mindset. I'm thinking that he just did the most there, and she's like, "Nah, you going too deep. You're doing the most." Da, 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 da. That's what I'm thinking. So that's why I kind of had his back. Like, man, you gotta just when she wants you to stop, just stop, bro. That's what I talked to him about. I was like, yeah, if I wouldn't even press the issue. I don't care how much she wants it or pretends to want it. If it's not 100%, don't deal with nobody, no girls, no people that don't want to deal with you 100%. And in that time period, I was trying to do the same thing, like carry that shit principle wise in the music because we're all doing music. So I'm like, listen, if these people are 100% on the not or like they're less than 100% on the fence collaborating with you, don't even deal with them. If you're dealing with people that less than 100% want to promote you, etc. I don't know if you want to deal with them. Maybe you got to start doing your own thing. So that goes back to the music and independent side of stuff, which is crazy. People who do, my bad. People who do what her and her friends do often get targeted by bigger predators, and that's what's kind of crazy how that happened, right? They know because of their reputation that no one's going to believe them anyways. The crazy part about it was it all started to unravel a little bit and like more and more slowly because you know we had a like I said, I think the first time it happened was the humble guy in the art scene when that happened to him, and they're like, "No, you got him fucked up. Like you're talking to the wrong person. He's a real humble guy. He's a real decent person. Like he'd never done that. And all the times he's been with these girls, and even had nights with them, and even the girls vouch for it too. Like he's never done that. He's just more or less been a gentleman. So because he had the community back him, that was like the first time, and then the second time, they ended up finding this guy who was just and yeah, that's a whole nother deeper story because that's one dude. I personally stopped fucking with him because he one time we this goddamn all right. So this is where this is in terms of this dude. We're over here hanging out. Um, Either we had just got done creating some music, recording or whatever, and we're just hanging out at his apartment, and they got like a big old lobby with like a not a second floor, but like a half floor up type shit. So we're up here in the little commons section, and we're just listening to stuff. And then I'm over here. I show a video. It was something related to Chief Keef. It was something about Chief Keef. So I showed it to him, and he's just over here laughing, and we're just whatever enjoying shit. And then he has a moment where this is 2018, mind you. So he goes, "Yeah, man," and he starts bringing up 6ix9ine because I forgot 6ix9ine went to O Block and did some funny shit. But that's neither here nor there. He starts bringing up 6ix9ine. He's like, "Yeah, man, but that 6ix9ine shit, man, I just think." He says something like, "Yeah, just I think people even got that fucked up." So I was like, "What do you mean?" Because 6ix9ine's a snitch. He's a rat. He said, I don't even care that 6ix9ine snitched." I was like, "Oh, really? Like, what do you mean by that?" Because it's like I didn't understand. Because again, I don't look into social media that deep. He said, "Yeah, before you know it, you be in the holding cell, you getting interrogated, and your homie snitching in the other room." I said, "What do you mean by that? What was that? Does it break that down for me?" He starts breaking it down. He's like, "Yeah, me and he name drops one of his friends. He name drops one of his friends. Again, I don't know this dude. This is someone he grew up with. They used to rob houses together and shit. They used to rob houses and do all type of whatever shit." And he says, "Yeah, we both get booked up. We both get arrested. We both get booked. They put us in different interrogation rooms." And then the cops is over here telling me that, "Oh yeah, he's over in the other room snitching already." So I'm like, "Oh damn." So when I found that out, I started telling. And then I looked at him and I was like, "Oh word, okay." And that was the last time I ever talked to him. I don't remember saying anything after that, but that was the last time I talked to him. Because when I heard that shit, I was like, I don't care if the other motherfucker in the room is snitching. That don't mean that you got to be a snitch. Does that make sense? I don't care if another person is being an asshole. You don't have to be an asshole. Does that make sense? It's on that line of, you know what I'm saying? That's my line of thinking. So when right when he said that shit, I'm looking at him like, okay. Also, that's the oldest trick in the book. That's the oldest trick in the book. Cops would be like, "Man, we can't get nothing out of any of them. Let's try this." You go over there and tell him that he's telling. You go over there and tell him that he's telling. And then we're gonna find out who's willing to tell based off of that. We're gonna find out who Folden's willing to tell. And this motherfucker folded. So I was like, right when I heard that, you gotta mind you, this is like up the street from the neighborhood I grew up in. So this is still my neighborhood, just in a different section. I'm from where I'm from here. This motherfucker from where he's from. He's from St. Louis. This motherfucker not from here. So I'm not saying that he don't know the politics here, but it's like, this is where the shit gets deeper. He basically got taken advantage of, you know what I'm saying, by the police and the justice system, if you will. You know what I mean? So on that hand, you could say that. But the fact that he ratted. The man didn't have no principles. So that's why I was like, oh, I can't even stand next to this man no more, knowing I'm from my neighborhood and he's on some goofy shit. Telling. So I was like, oh, ever since then I just never talked to him. Deleted the man's number, didn't keep in touch with him. I was like, nope. Ain't no reason to talk to him, bro. You know what I'm saying? Not much to talk about. Because the thing is, if you a rat, like, what am I going to talk to you about? Am I going to tell you stuff that you're going to tell about later? You know what I mean? He had a history of telling me about everyone else's business. He had a history about being salty about everyone, being bitter about everyone. So it kind of played, the way it played out, I was like, yeah, you have a whole lot to say about everyone else, man. You got a lot of stories. He was telling me about this one dude that used to be in the hip hop scene with us, and he was like, oh yeah, last time I seen him, man, he was gone. I was like, what do you mean gone? He was like, yeah, he's off the crack now, man. He's a crackhead now. I was like, what? That's crazy. I seen the dude he was talking about in public. That dude was just drunk. I was like, why are you violating people? This dude was over here talking shit about some of these guys who are making a big name of themselves. They made a collaborative album in the city. This guy goes, hey man, I don't know if I fuck with them, blah 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 blah. And he's saying all this crazy shit. And I'm like, bro, I was just with them like 2 weeks ago. We were bigging you up. We're talking about there's not too many people who do the lyrical thing and can produce their own shit. We talking about you. Like we bigging you up. Like you could sit here and keep pretending like people in your face are a certain way, but it's just like bro he had interpretation issues or whatever the fuck. Come to find out, like I remember this is when I was still talking to him. A month later, me and him we had a mutual homegirl. He was like, "Damn, what happened with you and so and so?" I was like, "I don't even know what happened. I just ain't talked to him in a while." You know, he said y'all beefing. Da, da, da. I was like, "Bro, I just ain't talked to bro. He just get emotional about all the different shit. He get emotional about men all the time. He a weirdo. Like, he's just weird. So it just the way it played out, you realize that he just always in his feelings about some shit. He always has something to say about certain people, even if he was fucking with them, rocking with them, etc. It's just like bro always had a problem with people. Like he did not know how to be a friend type shit. Basically. He just didn't know how to be a friend when you think about it. Now here's the kicker. Come to find out, you know, and I'm not trying to violate bro or talk all this shit. A lot of people talk about this. A lot of people close to him have told me this shit. And like, you know, when the first person tells you, you don't want to believe it. But when multiple people who are actually close to him and spend time with him, his siblings and shit like that, they start telling you like, hey, his mom was getting drunk and fucked up when he was in the womb. Like she was gone. Like I'm not, you know, they didn't want to sit there and be like he a crack baby or whatever. But he definitely got that alcohol, whatever, up in his system from his mom type shit. This is no disrespect to mom. This is no disrespect to him. This is just how the world go, right? So he came out. He seems like a normal person, but everyone told me, like everyone around me that knew him a little better than I, just like, well, just so you know, he's very autistic. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that. That makes sense why like he's so good musically. That makes sense why he's so good musically and he has a discipline about himself because he's very autistic. And then it happened where like one time we're all kind of hanging out. I was like, Salam, what's going on, bro? Peace, peace. And then there's a let me catch up on this. Isn't 6ix9ine that guy with the rainbow teeth or some bullshit? Yeah. Um, then the rainbow hair or whatever. But anyway, what's interesting is like, oh shit, what was I gonna say? Yeah, he's on the autistic spectrum. So there's one time when it really revealed itself to me because, like I said, he's really good musically. He's really good at vocabulary. He's really good discipline wise. We're at the homie's house, apartment, I should say, where it's like him, the homie's fiance, and then like fiance's friend, and then all of our other friend groups, and it's like 6 or 7 of us. We're all playing Monopoly. He owes somebody money in the game. It's just one girl who's outside of the group. He owes the girl money in the game. And then she's like, it's only, let's say it's only like $12, $14. It was only like $12, $14 and stuff like that. My bad. I don't know what we're doing here. You know, some goofy shit. Here we go. Let me know what we on, bro. Let me know what we on, Kansas. So they tell him it's like 14, $12, $14. And he's over here trying to slowly count it. He's trying to do the math. It takes him the longest time to do the math. So the girl who's outside of the group looks at him and is like, it's $14. Like she's over here having a fit and an attitude. She's over here laughing at him. But we all know that he's like on the, you know, we all kind of know. So we're like, oh, she doesn't know. So I almost started cussing her out. But that I started to see it. You know what I mean? Anyway, the whole point I'm making is like his whole lifehood and childhood. I can imagine police taking advantage of that deficit in his mind, that deficit in his tism, if you will. So like that's why I'm like, I'm not really, you know, I used to be kind of angry just thinking like I'm next to a rat. Like I used to just think like that. But then on the other hand, it's like, oh yeah, cops have very well known about this man's disabilities, if anything, or you know, especially when he was a young man, and they probably more or less took advantage of it. So on one hand, it's like, you know, the more I start like really, you know, if someone violates somebody, I'm not saying there's a way to justify why they are fucked up, but when I really look back into a person's history, if not, you know, what I'm saying what makes them who they are, you know what I mean? If not how the system took advantage of them, if not how, does that make sense? I can keep deep rooting shit. I can keep backtracking as much as I need to, as much as possible. But the more I keep looking into that shit, I'm like, it's fucked up that he is just a product of his environment, more or less. You know what I'm saying? Man's just a product of his environment, more or less. I can't get mad at that. I can't get mad at that. It's fucked up. You know what I mean? It is fucked up. Like to think that, like, yeah, when the cops pulled him in, they forced him to rat. They took advantage of his disability, etc., his mental disability, if you will, and all. It's just crazy. But then it also makes sense that like why he's so good at his music and vocabulary. He excelled at it because it's like everyone his whole life it made him feel like shit. It's like yeah, he probably excelled because he wanted to prove people wrong. He wanted to excel and prove people wrong, vocabulary wise, talking wise, etc. He just boom went to the highest level, next level type shit. So I get it. That's why I respect it, bruh. But it's just like, bruh, I don't know. Again, I don't know how far he went with the girl. That's what's crazy. That's the other aspect where I'm like, this shit is like kind of It's really weird though. That's where things get weird, and we just don't fucking know. I mean, I don't fucking know. You know, other people they seem to know him a little better. Sometimes, you know, when people are in front of you, they give you one side of themselves. They give you the most respectful side. They listen to you respectfully, and then they got a whole lot to say behind your back, type shit. So there's a bit of that too. You know, I got a friend like that right now, which is really interesting. Like me and him will have a lot of deep conversations and talks, but strangely enough, I think he has like deeper, whatever kind of talks with his significant other. So it's kind of crazy because it's like I don't know, man. It's just one of them things where it's just like I get where a lot of things can get misinterpreted. I get where a lot of people can get influenced because like people who just if kind of like me too, or like you just take information from everyone, you listen to everyone attentively. You know, for me, I try to consider all the facts, but some people they get dissuaded or you know whatever persuaded, if you will, too, into certain reasons or whatever to hate on somebody. My bad. Maybe he is, but eventually it stops being the environment and other issues' fault and starts being that person being an entitled douchebag. Yep, using their issues to get away with horrid behavior. The crazy thing about him is like I don't even think he falls behind his tism as a. That's why I know it, and that's why I know he's a fucked up person because it's like he doesn't lean on it or he doesn't fall behind it as an excuse, but he has smart ways to justify actions or justify what's been going on. But like I really had to just think about the history of times I would speak to him because again, when he's like, so and so's a crackhead now, he's gone. So and so they just be hating on me. They motherfuckers just haters. Like when he's talking about all these people, and then I'm just sitting here like having the patience to tell him like, hey man, make sure what you're saying is right. Hey man, make sure when you're talking about these people that just know that they had a lot of love for you the other like a couple of weeks ago, if not a couple of days ago. We just spoke, we bigged you up. Like what are we talking about? Hey, just so you know, when you're talking about so and so and their wife, so and so and their girlfriend, their fiance, whatever, just be mindful that when you're talking about these people, that they bigged you up. You know what I'm saying? They had props for you. They loved you, but you over here talking really grimy. I remember like that we had those conversations. I would sit there and talk to him like, "Hey man, well, I don't know where that's coming from, but that don't even seem right." Like it was almost like I was trying to tell him back or whatever. Come to find out, like I said, when I wasn't spending time with him, he would speak to our mutual friends in like a very negative way too. And I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck I did, bro. Because the whole time that every time we're together, I try to dial you back and I try to keep you focused. And like, this is somebody I gave $500 worth of music equipment to. I'm not trying to say it as a flex, but it's just like when I had the money, I told him I was like, bro, we in this together. So let me hook you up. Like, this is my setup. I'm gonna give you my same setup, and you're gonna be able to do your own thing now. That way, you don't have to keep calling me up, and I don't have to record for you. This motherfucker kept calling me up. You can keep on saying, "Oh yeah, that's the autism, that's the whatever." Yeah, you could keep saying that, sure. But on the other hand, it's like, bro, you have the tools. I literally gave you the tools. You owe me nothing. Just go be an artist like I believe in you. And motherfucker couldn't even do it. But that's how it be sometimes. You know, you put some shit in motherfuckers' hands, they can't do nothing. It's crazy. It's sad. My bad. You have more balance than I. That's for sure. I hope so. I hope so, man. I'm trying to. It's funny because it feels like I'm trying to balance myself right now. It feels like I'm trying to. You know, I feel like I'm constantly tipping towards crashing out a lot more lately than anything, and I'm trying to keep it together. Like, I know I got to go back to work tomorrow, so I know if I hear some funky shit, I already know I'm already just gonna look at people now in my head like, all right, cool. Like I ain't got no stories to talk about, nothing. Because I sat there and I talked to a coworker or last week, and this motherfucker blew my whole like pause. He blew the whole thing out of proportion. Like, you know, he just took like everything I was saying. He just took it all. I was like, bro, I'm just telling you what happened. I'm just telling you what happened, and I'm telling you what's gonna happen if people do some funny shit towards me. If people do some funky shit towards me, I'm just gonna leave. He said, "Oh, don't do that unless you want to quit." I was like, "I guess I'm quitting. If it gets bad, I guess I'm quitting because I could just go find another job that wants me part time on the weekdays. I could just find some other shit. You act like I have to be here. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be here, bro. If it's gonna be disrespectful, I will leave." But people want to take the whole thing out of like, man, who's willing to? It's just like, bro, you just. That's how I know people have no life and have nothing to talk about because they start talking about the smallest thing that I say at work, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's already begun. It's just grown men that need something to gossip about. That shit funny as hell. But God bless them. I hope they figure that shit out, man. Because I know what I'm. You know, my time at a job is never like. I don't ever feel like I need to be there till the end. Or I'm gonna put my 30 years here. I could feel it. Like no, like no. No, but yeah, you're right. No, you're absolutely right, Lilith. I don't think he leans on it. I think if anything, he does use it to his advantage, which is crazy. You know what I mean? A lot of his intentional evilness, if you will, is just evil, right? It's just evil. And at the end of the day, it's like, again, he comes from a background, a city or whatever, where he was used to people using their intentional plans and plotting around him to do some evil shit. You know, they would set up whatever. Like everything is, there's always an angle to something from what the background he comes from. And like I come from something similar, but he's from a worse city, so like I get it. You know what I mean? But it's just like that's one thing myself. Like instead of dwelling on him and dwelling on his bullshit, dwelling on the fact that he's a fucked up person that might not do for himself, and every time people did for him, he couldn't help them because he's a fucking what's it called? You ever heard this term? He's a homeless sexual. He's a homeless sexual. He just fucks girls that have a place to live. He can't really do much for himself. You know what I'm saying? That's how far. You know what I'm saying? He fucks bitches that have a place to live. He wants the couch or he wants the bed space. Like he's a homeless sexual. That's what they call him. You know what I'm saying? And he's one of those. It's just like I met so many of his girlfriends where it's just like he just had a place to live. He had a place to like, oh, a girl could help him. Like he just sit there and just talk about his life all day, and reach for empathy, and then like people would just give him money and shit. People would just sit there and pay him. Like I'll take care of your rent, shit like that. He'll just dick a girl down, and then she'll start taking care of his rent for him. Which is that. I mean, that's some Mac and shit. I ain't gonna be mad at that. I'm not even mad at that shit. But at the end of the day, it's like, bro, that's all you do. All the times you've done that, you ain't never came up. Like you ain't got no plan, bro. You just take advantage of people. Then, like it's I get it when you got to do it when you have to do what you have to do to survive. I understand that aspect. But you over here just doing this all the time. That's all you do. And bless the hearts of them girls, man. He's a gold digger. I mean, more or less, right? He's just more or less, and it's just like, yeah, I don't know, man. God bless that dude, bro. It's so much shit we could say about him, but it's like I'm not even trying to violate, bro. It'd be worse if I said his name. That's what's crazy if I said his name. But a lot of people know who he is. A lot of people know who he is, and it's just like sometimes we look at him and we're just like, I hope the best for him. That's all we usually say on the way out. We're just like, I hope the best for him. I talked to him the other day. I wish him the best, man. God damn that shit. It's just crazy. It's just fucking crazy. You know what I mean? But yeah, good luck to him, man. Like I said, I seen him yesterday. He had like a little a two-finger ring on type joint. His beard finally looked kind of like more groomed. He seemed a little more well kept. And I was like, he looked like he's doing better for himself. From before he was getting kicked out of his house, he had to deal with homeless shelters and stuff. But yeah, man. I mean, the man has he's got a gift. He could game abroad, man. He could game a girl real easy and then find a place to live, which is funny. And it's just like, I mean, see, on the other hand, it's like the reason why it's funny is because like a dude who can do that, it's rare compared to like most girls who just do that. Most girls would just find a guy like, you know what, man, if all I gotta do is just, boop bop to him, be nice to him, I have a place to live. Like some girls would just do that. But he's a dude who could figure it out. That's why it's funny. Because it's like the fact that he could do that as being a broke person, like I give him props. I'll give him props, which is funny as hell. The whole two-finger ring confused me. I would feel constricted as fuck. Yeah, I gotta think about that. Holy shit. You got seeds up in here? Hold on. I'm over here trying to talk and then I feel the seeds pause back there. So I'm like, but yeah, it's interesting, man. It's like I had to think about that for a second, the two-finger ring. I wonder if it was a two-finger ring or if it was just like a little thing that just went over the two fingers. I don't actually know. I don't actually know. I do like pinky rings though. When I wear pinky rings, like they're fashionable, but at the same time, like I get like a little more awareness in my hand and my palm. So I'm able to have like a little more. I like coming from like boxing background, I like having that awareness. But yeah, I try to count the positives here, where it's like I think about where he comes from and what made him who he was, and because if I dwell on the negative shit, you know what I'm saying? If I dwell on that negative shit, it's just like I'm gonna hate this person. I don't want to walk around hating anyone. I don't want to carry hate for anyone. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to keep a guy in my mind. Pause. Fuck that. Like people be like I tell this story all the time. Lilith, I don't know if you were around for this era when there were kids asking me these questions about people beefing in the street or people I got beef with and stupid shit. I was like, I don't have beef with nobody. One thing I learned, there's a way that I conceptualize it. I learned it from an interview, which is funny as hell, or a hip hop interview, which cracked me up. Dude said, "We don't got no enemies out here. We just got haters," which is a fact because it's like no one's going out of their way beefing with dudes because like it's like if you got to do what you got to do here, you got to eat. I understand that, but what? There ain't no beef in that. There's no beef in that, bro. It's just someone hating on somebody, feeling away. and then you might want to act on it. That's all it is just some hate when you think about it. So I say all this to say, like, there was this one dude who was sitting there trying to press me, like, damn, he's like, where you from? Whoop de wop, and asking me all these questions and trying to check me and shit. And my thing was like, I'm from here, like I'm from this neighborhood, like what we talking about? And then he goes, I thought you were so and so from this, whatever, this gang or some funny shit. I was like, I never gang bang in my life, but I've been dolo out here the whole time. I've been solo dolo out here this whole fucking time. What we talking about? So it's crazy. At some point, if, like I said, if I remember correctly, I don't know if I have it verbatim, but I started asking him like, what's up with this dude that you think I'm him? You think I'm that person? What's up with that? He said, I just thought whatever. I was like, sounds like you got that dude on your mind a lot, man. Sounds like you got a lot of strong feelings for this dude. And I'm over here clowning him. He said, man, nah, man. I said, no. I mean, because you're thinking about a dude a whole lot. You know what I mean? No disrespect, bro. No disrespect. I mean, no shame, no shade towards if that's what you do, that's what you're into. I ain't even mad at that. I'm just saying. Sounds like you're thinking about dude a lot, man. You might have to actually give him a call. You might actually have to talk to him. But I ain't him. I'm sorry. I'm just not him. Sorry you thought I was that guy for you. I'm really not. I don't do that shit. You know what I mean? So he dude was getting all mad and in his feelings. But I was like, bro, you over here came in my direction with that weird shit, that weird fucking energy. You want to be funny? I'm gonna be funny too. Like, what we doing? So that's what I'm saying. Is like, I don't. You know what I mean? I don't keep that shit on my mind. I don't try to keep it on my mind. People I hate or people that whatever. There's a dude that I used to work with that I wanted to cave his head in. Sometimes I think about him and I'm thinking like, oh yeah. If I see him again, I might have to But who knows? If I see him again, if he tries to be funny and get comfortable, I might do it. Who knows? But that's the point. It's like I don't even ever want to get to that point. You know how much you know it's not worth it. Because the thing is, like, if you're going, like, I'll give an example. If I'm going in that direction of my old job, just to walk around to see if I see like that, like I said, I'm not judging nobody, whatever. I'm just telling the truth here. How you know I'm on some real shit is like I don't go there because there's a bitch over there I visit. The second thing is this is like I don't even go in those areas. You know what I mean? Where I know that like people are gonna be on some weird funky shit. I stay away from that shit. It's funny because every time, like whether it's like in life or whatever, when I start finding a sense of peace, you know what I'm saying? Every time I start finding a sense of peace, or like finding whatever, what's going on, Basti? A sense of peace, or like I'm trying to, find some healthy amount of whatever. You know what I mean? But every time I'm trying to do that shit, it's really interesting, man. It's like something like either something from the past or like some other shit comes up. It's always something. So that's why it's funny when I ran into Brett at the library because he's just like, he's just standing there, and I'm checking the temperature, like I'm trying to see what he's gonna do, but he can only halfway look me in the eye. So I was just like, look at him, like, just let me know what we about to do right now. You know what I'm saying? I just need to know because it's like if I'm on the path of this peace stuff, and then you trying to violate that, whether you know it or not. If I'm over here dealing with some grief, trying to manage that, and then you want to violate during that time period, just let me know. And I hope he sees the fucking live stream in the video. That's why I'm very open talking about it because it's like, let me know, bro, because I'm in a different mindset. This motherfucker's still on some weird violation shit. If you're still on that time, just let me know. You know what I mean? We can go there because I have no fucks given at this time. I met Blasty or Blasty. You made it on the Big Blade X official channel. That's what's up. What were you doing on there? Were you doing like a kids event or something, or like a? I don't remember if you told me that you were still a youth doing the youth event or not, or if you were an adult. My bad. But let me know it's good, your man. You might have left. You might have left. Hopefully you're still around. That's where I'm at mentally with this, man. That's where I'm at mentally with all this shit. It's like every single time I'm trying to just find this level of peace, understanding, and like even going through just some personal grief. People try to come around with some bullshit. That's why I brought up last time, like when I was doing like it was like on Mother's Day. I think it was on Mother's Day, and then I went to my mom's grave that morning, and had I was doing some stuff on the computer, and then went to the park at night and like a live stream. My mother's kind of just reflect on grieving on my mother. That's when this fucking bitch with all these like 60 accounts showed up on my channel just trying to violate the live stream. I'm like, this motherfucker's a bitch. Like, you gonna do this on Mother's Day of all days? It's people like that. People like that, they got a special place in hell, and I don't mind burying them there, honestly. I don't mind sending them there myself. That shit funny as hell. It's crazy. It's really crazy, but that's a whole other thing. Roboting? Oh, yeah, hold on. Once you know, man, they got is five, man. Like all my normal spots, went up the street, are starting to get fucked up now, connection wise. It's like yeah, all my spots is getting violated. Pause. So like now, I gotta just sit there, pre-record it, and upload it. But it kind of sucks in that manner. So we'll see. Still tiny bit, but better. Okay, 1 second. Cause I'm about to walk over to this bathroom anyway, use it, and I'm gonna head back or head up the hill. Yeah, man. They call this joint pineapple the buzz or buzzed up. We call it buzzed up or something like that. It got pineapple, a whole bunch of other berries. They put some protein powder in it. You know, my phone might have just been in the heat for too long too. I like the sunlight, but yeah. But that's where I'm at in life, Lilith. Like every time I try to find a bit of peace, love, you know what I'm saying, moments to grieve, etc., like things like that. All of a sudden, people want to come out the woodworks and be on some weird, evil, violating energy type shit. It just be like the worst type of people. So I really gotta check people's temperature. It don't matter where I'm at in life. I'm like I just gotta check people's shit. Burn bright with your own light and purpose. Something about that shit. It's like you'll just overcome all naturally anyway. So I was like, I gotta kind of stay positive as much as possible. It ain't easy, but I'm at it. Yeah, it's like I said. Hopefully it's back. But I had such a like just payment planning everything. Throwing everything on payment plan, building the credit with it, building the credit off of it, like shit like that. It's really interesting to me, man. It's really interesting to me how you know I don't know what the word is, but like oh yeah, my bad, Lilith. I was reading what you were saying. I don't know if you were there for that, but I do for sure agree. So I blacked out the screen. I muted it because I went to the bathroom. Um, excuse me. That's what that was about. But yeah. But let me know if you're still there, Lilith. Let me know if you're still there. I'm just walking right now. Although I was saying was like I'm just hyped. I'm proud because it's like all this shit's paid off. All the credit card shit. What happened to Brett doing a little yard work? What happened to Brett doing the yard work? You are okay. Yeah, I be taking shit personally. Like, damn, bro, I'm over here on the live streaming at the park, and then, bro, get the damn what do you call this? Leaf blower the whole time. I've been making it personal, like it was really about me the whole time. But anyway, nah, my credit card stuff, like all my payment plan stuff, like paying for every 2 weeks, like that type of shit, finally paid off. Like today, oh here, you probably enjoy this. Look at this garage. See the garage? It's crazy. You probably enjoy that shit. I don't know if you're into what is that? Is that it? Whatever it's called. I don't know if you're into that, but I know some people who fuck with not the scary movie genre, but shit like that. Yeah, it's badass. Yeah, that's a funny ass garage right there. I don't know when they put that there. That's funny. Pennywise, that's a motherfucking name. Pennywise. That's hella funny. Yeah, that shit funny as hell. I remember my friend was inviting me to when they did the newer one. She invited me to go with her friends. I was doing something else that day. I can't remember what it was. That was a weird night too because I remember the movie came out. She was like, "You want to watch this?" I was like, "Oh, I'm good." It's not something I normally watch. So then she's like, "Oh," and then she was so into astrology. She started saying something under her breath, but around her friends. But this is how I know that she would talk to her friends about me a lot. She's like, "Oh my God, you're such like a introverted Cancer or something." It was like something one of those like staying inside. I was like, I go outside all the time. I hang out with you all the time. I just don't care about the movie. Like, but it was something weird like that. Last time I remember someone talking about it was during that time period. It's so weird. Yeah, some people really be defining people off astrology. It's really weird. I was like, bro, like I was like, we be kicking it all the time. But it's just that one. But that's how I knew. I was like, like I said, fast forward, same thing in hindsight. Because their friends were asking me like, "Oh, you're the friend that lives down the street." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, you're the one that's the cancer." Oh, yeah. That's like why. That's hella weird. That's like a weird, like looking back, like at the time I didn't really think about it because I was learning about astrology from them books and all that other shit too. You know what I mean? I was learning about a bit of the stars and all that other, um, like the stars and all the other, what's it called? I can't remember. There's a deeper thing, astro charts and deeper side of like, um, there's something else actually historically, something Egyptian wise. I can't remember. How it correlated with the Egyptian pyramids, the creation of it, the actual timeline. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. I was getting deep into it, but it was just weird that like people used it as a, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you don't like the whole astrology thing. It's just weird how it gets weaponized. I was just confused. I was like, you think people can help like that? You know what astrology is? I'll tell you what astrology is. Astrology is, it's racism for people who don't want to be racist. That's what it is. Because when you think about it, it's like I can't help the skin tone and the type of look that I'm born with necessarily. I can't help my genetics, and I can't help the day that I was born. You think like it's my fault because I was born? Like that shit is stupid. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god, they're a Gemini. I gonna fuck with like. It's like you act like they had a choice of the day and the month that they were born. Like, oh my god, and look at the time you were born. Look, this is your chart. This is all your fault. This is why you were fucked up because your chart. But it's racism for people who don't want to be racist. You know what I mean? That's crazy. It's just like you act like they had something to do about it. I mean, because I would hear these stupid ass conversations, and then I would go like, you know what, man, it's not even about that. Like, if you think that their chart is problematic, you could look at the positive sides of each sign, and then find out where you can excel on their chart and how hard it would be for them. You could go there. You can go there if you wanted to, but instead you want to hate on someone because they're born in the month of June or May. Like, it's the funniest shit. I was like, oh, that shit is crazy. You know, the only people who really made a choice for their own birth are the premature babies, the ones that kicked out early. Like, nope, I don't want that later season. I want it now. That's the only people who made the choice for their birth month. They're like, yeah, fuck them 9 months. I'm trying to leave now. You know, you're a Libra. I always get, you must be a peacekeeper. Cracks you up every time. Do you consider yourself a peacekeeper? I will say, like, there's a bit of truths here and there. I couldn't tell you because I'm an expert, really, but I will say, like, I don't know what the word is. Like, sometimes, let me, because I got so much sunlight. Should I go this way? Sometimes, like, what's it called? Sometimes it's something you either got to learn or master, if that makes sense. You know, I've always done the opposite. Well, that's not fair. That's not fair. Because like the cancers always get told that we're loving and nourishing. I want to say I do it well, but I'm also like overbearing. You know what I mean? I can be overbearing at times. So, but like lately, I've been very what's it called? Just kind of secluded and doing my work. You know what I mean? I'm like, I just got to get shit done. It's like, well, I was around people anyway. That's the other thing too. Is like people sit there and try to define it, but I was like, I was around people anyway. There was a time period I was, and the people weren't really trying to kick it like that or whatever. But yeah, but you are confrontational as fuck. The one way I look at it, and it's like you don't have to satisfy anyone's perception of you, obviously, but I think the confrontational aspect about it is cool because that is, there's a bit of peacekeeping and confrontation, if that makes sense. I'm not saying you have to become something that maybe you're not, or you have to lean into some shit that you know, the astrology says. I don't want you to do all that. That's not fair to yourself. My bad. But I will say, like, if you had to create some peace, you would have to confront the non-peaceful shit. That's just the way I look at it. But I don't know. I always see like things that are like opposite of each other is really just two sides of the same coin, you know. But that's a whole deeper conversation. Now we get into like Akashic records and past lives and shit like that. That's a whole other conversation, you know. I'll leave it for people when they're absolutely the whole balance thing though. I don't care if the scales are balanced. Yeah, I'll confront regardless of the outcome. That's fair. That's fair. It's funny because I'm leaning back towards that kind of mindset, and I only say it that way because like I was that way as a kid. Like when I was young, when I was a kid, I was that way. I would always be. I don't want to say confrontational, but I was just a crash out. I was just a crash out kid. But a lot of me being a crash out kid was really just like it came from a place of like anger and pain because all the fucking physical abuse I went through as a kid, and what I mean, just being locked in the closet type shit. Just people just throwing me in the dark, just leaving me in there type shit till it's time to eat, like just shit like that. It rewires a child's brain. So it's like every moment I got to whatever, what I mean. Every chance I had to interact, it was extreme, if not aggressive. You know what I mean? And it's funny because they did the same research on rats, which they always do research on rats, and because their brains and their nature is similar to ours supposedly, but like yeah, they did the same thing. They isolated a few rats. You know what I mean? Kept them isolated for a while, left some in the darkness, and then they integrated them back into a utopian rat society. And the rats that came from that kind of background, they were still the most aggressive. They were still the most aggressive. So as a kid, I was one of the most aggressive kids, and you can imagine just whether it's my teachers, parents, or other people around me trying to keep me, you know, from erupting on everyone all the time. And this is me as a kid. This is me as a kid, right? They're trying to keep me from doing that. The efforts of that helped me learn some discipline. The efforts of learning boxing helped me learn some discipline. All that crazy shit. You know what I mean? So I was able to keep it at bay. But when I'm left to my own devices, that's the tricky part. I'm trying to just be free and be artistic, peaceful and whatnot. The aggression comes back out, and that energy kind of reflares up. And obviously, man, I'll be wanting to, hurt people here and now. And it's like, nah, it's like there's a piece of me that knows that ain't right. But I can't deny the actual expression or the feeling of it. My bad. Oh, people try and use peacekeeper to describe doormats. Oh, I see what you're trying to say. Interesting. I guess I never thought of it that way, but that would make sense why you wouldn't want to accept it. I tried being nice and not as blunt or direct. It's just not effective enough for me. I want people to listen the first time. That's fair. The only person I'm the hardest on is myself. Like if you ever tap into my live streams when I'm playing basketball, if the thing is I don't have a mic on, but I'll miss a whole bunch of shots. I'm talking shit to myself the whole day. The whole day. Like we not leaving this park till you knock that shit down. Get your fucking aim right, all that shit. I'm the same way in boxing though. If I'm in the gym wasting time, I see you have 3 minutes to defuse a bomb. You over here fucking around. That's the way I talk to myself. I'm on some David Goggins shit when I'm training. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, I don't know, man. It's like there's a decent level of like love and respect that I think people should treat each other with. Now it's idealistic. You know what I mean? It's idealistic. It's probably not doable. I don't know what the word is. It's probably not plausible or whatever the word is. But I figure I'll treat everyone around me like that. But then when it comes to myself, you have to be hard on yourself because if you don't, someone in the world will find a way to kind of get on you and give you that kind of you know what I mean? I don't know what the word is. Like they'll give you that crash course, and that's not good too. How's it going? Good morning. Hi. Good morning. You got to kind of be. It is. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm really hard on myself, so I'm very like I'm very yeah, plain and simple, very hard on myself, and I make sure I let myself know like the world's not gonna be this easy. You're gonna go to another country, you're gonna go to another city, you're gonna get out of your comfort zone, and you better be ready for that shit. So I make you have to purposely put yourself through some shit sometimes. The thing too is I come from that shit. That's the other fucked up part. So it's like it's easy for me to simulate it within myself mentally and all that. If I'm physically putting myself through a workout, it's easy for me to do that to myself. But there's another side of me that's like I have some friends who know me in a very nice and peaceful way, and they don't know the other side of me, which is great. I want to keep it that way. But then they'll say all these things about me, how like they'll relate me to like a very sweet person and very nice person. And some people see it as like I don't know the word is, but like they'll see me as like the sweet person that is non whatever. But I'm like I'm really happy y'all met me now, and I'm happy you're meeting me in this particular space. Like I give an example in the Beyblade space. The fact that you met me in this Beyblade space here. Then they moved the chairs. It's over. I'm gonna just keep walking. They moved the chairs in the Beyblade space. Like because it's like nerds and it's people who just enjoy the fucking game and the toys. It's like I have no reason to apply any aggression. You know what I mean? This is like it's like 70% autistic people that just want to enjoy games. Like why would I have to? You know what I mean? Like if I'm in the boxing gym, some people might want to test you and do some funny shit, and you're like, all right, I'll check you, or we could just go in the ring and figure that out. But at the end of the day, it's like these are just toys, man. You feel me? Like this is just toys. Let's go. So I don't know. I don't have that. And they moved the chairs though. I'm just sad because they moved the chairs. My bad. Oh, I get that. If someone says enough though, and someone tries pushing it using guilt pressure, my bad, guilt pressure, gaslighting, any form of manipulation, no matter how my bad, no matter how well meaning, I just won't f with it. I know that's what I'm saying, man. And some people go there. Some people really will go there, which I don't understand necessarily. I don't quite understand it. They move the chairs. I don't want to grab the chairs. That's the thing. I don't want to grab the chairs. Those little lounge chairs I sit in at the park. I want to go there, but it's all right. I think I might be able to sit right here on the side of the tennis court because no one's really in here right now. Oh, they are in there. They're just taking a break. I'm gonna sit on the side of the school. You seem to be really at peace when you talk about Beyblade. But that's what I was telling people. Lilith is like, unfortunately, well, I don't know if that's right, but I will say fortunately because I'll try to stay positive about it. It's one of the few places and spaces where I don't necessarily get discriminated. You know what I mean? It sounds weird, but I don't really get discriminated in the Beyblade world. I think I will sit here. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. I sit because they're doing school hours, so I'm like, I'll sit because the sun's on this side. I'll sit here, but it's like, my bad. Yeah, no, it's one of the few places where like I don't go through that. I don't go through that. I got so much shit in the shoe now. I don't go through that like discrimination. I don't go through, you know what I mean, being offended necessarily. And the only time they discriminate me is they think because I Beyblade that I know about the anime. So they'll ask me questions about characters, and they'll ask me questions about like certain blades, and I'm like, I just know this shit. I just threw myself all the way in. Oh damn it! I touched my sock and then I touched my nose. But then I know about this shit because I threw myself into it. That's it. It's that simple. Shit. But then they'll talk to me like I know what's going on. So that's like the right form. It sounds funny, but that's the right form of discrimination. Like I'd rather be thought of as a nerd by nerds, I guess. I don't know. My whole life I was always being confronted because people thought I was either from a certain gang or I was drug dealing on their block. Because they would just see my backpack. I had a old raggedy backpack that was a hand me down. It looked like a trap bag. So I'd walk past these blocks like near my house, where these people was trapping all the time, and they just think I was working and making money in their zone, and they'd always be mad. Motherfuckers always be mad. Motherfuckers swung on me about it a long time ago. The whole time I just had my notebooks and my CDs from the library in there. And the thing is, it's like if they stole my bag, they would have saw my notebook with all my raps in it, and I was very protective of those. And then more importantly, they would have saw, or they would have had my the CDs that I had borrowed, checked out from the library, and I can't. I was so broke at the time, I couldn't pay the fee for that. I couldn't pay the fine for if stuff got stolen and I had to pay it back. So like I was protecting that bag with my life. So then these people are just swinging on me, motherfucker, just swinging on me the whole time, and I'm sitting there holding on to it, not fighting back. I'm like, oh man, I can't. I'm just trying to drop my backpack off at the house. I'm literally getting jumped on the block. That shit fucked up, and it's just like, it's funny because in their minds they're thinking I'm trying to protect the work. They think I had some work in the bag. They think I'm trying to protect it with my life. So they're like, oh shit, this is some real shit. So they left me alone. It's just funny as hell. They was kind of looking back like, damn, that motherfucker has some real. He must be working with some real hitters, man. Some bullshit like that. That's how they felt. I was like, oh, it's just some fucking CDs in the notebook. That's literally all it is. And I had like two pens and like a marker in there. That was about it. You know what I mean? Some funny shit. But again, that's the contrast. Is like, shit like the arts or whatever. That shit mattered to me way more than whatever. But that shit had me heated too. That shit had me heated too. Like it had me, these motherfuckers live a block off. They be working up the street type shit. So I'm like sitting there looking for revenge or whatever. But it's funny. All that shit worked itself out. It's kind of funny. I shouldn't say it's funny, but yeah, it shit worked itself out in a weird way. That's also another thing about time, though. That's another thing about time. But no, Lilith, I'm at peace with Beyblade. It's weird. It's like it's one of the few spaces and places where like people can kind of just have fun. Like just moments where people are saying some like they say some funny shit to me. They say some weird shit to me, and then I can't tell if they're trying to be funny or see. And I know that they're trying to have fun and I know they're joking around, but then I think because I come from like this just fucking neighborhood background type shit. It's like sometimes I wonder if it's just some slight talking where people trying to one up you and get one over on you, but you realize it's just nerds being nerds, man. It's just nerds being nerds. It's funny as hell. You know what I mean? That's another transitional thing that I had to dial myself back on. Thinking wise was like, yeah, when you start entering certain spaces, just remember it's like no one's going at you. Like they're trying to be, some people try to be silly because they're comfortable with you. If they're being silly with you and they're being jokey with you, that means they're comfortable with you. It's that simple. They don't mean no harm by it. You know what I mean? And I'm so used to being in spaces and places where, or just in whole neighborhoods where like people try to say some funky shit just to get under your skin. You know what I mean? And it's not like that in the Beyblade space. I have to remember that. I almost have to like really remember that shit. But it's cool, man. It's cool. Like the nerd spaces are like you're saying. You love the nerd spaces, man. That shit. Yeah, that shit. It makes sense. Like I get it now. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother thing. I'm about to go play this Digimon. Speaking of nerd shit, my bad. I'm like getting close. It's just hella bright. Hold on, let me tip the. I'm gonna tip the camera up real quick, Lilith. I get that. I get slightly tilted sometimes when people I'm not vibing with yet joke with me. Not their fault. That's the thing. It's like it's not their fault, but then they also have to be mindful that like. But the funny part about it is like they're testing the waters with you to see if it's okay, and that's how I know like it's also okay if you go full whatever on them. You know what I mean? If you go full snap mode on them, it'd be okay because then they'd be like, you know what, my bad. That's on. I think I ain't gonna say most people, but some people will sit there and be like, okay, you're right, my bad. I got too comfortable. Some people will get real honest about it. But yeah. Lilith, I haven't checked inside the server in a while, but let me know if you saw the I can't remember who it was. I think it was Anubis who posted the little picture of the banana and the clam. I'm gonna check it right when I get inside. But let me know if you responded to that. I don't know if you woke up and saw that this morning. But I'm gonna go back and check that myself. Hey, listen, I'm about to get inside the library right now, though. I'm about to turn on this Digimon. We're gonna get to work. Hey, man, he's a perv. That's funny. Yeah. Hey, love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace.